What if I told you that video is the #1 way that people find coaches online? You'd probably believe me because it's 2025 and realistically, all of us are on social media and that makes sense, right? But the truth is, in most industries, people will hire those who they know, like, and trust, and video is like one of the best ways to do that online. So let's talk today about how you can integrate video into your business without all the bells and whistles. Like, how do you get top-tier production quality without it being overly complicated or expensive? Let's dive in. So my name is Harmonie and I'm the senior digital content producer here at Trainerize and ABC. So I'm gonna share some just easy production tips with you today. These are gonna be things that anyone can implement into their business. So #1, let's talk about tech and gear. The first thing that you're gonna need is a smartphone. You don't need a $2,000 camera to get started. An iPhone, most Androids, those will be more than enough to produce the kind of content that you want. If you want a little hack to increase the quality that you're recording on your iPhone, I'll tell you how to do it. So this involves going to your settings. First you're gonna go to your settings and you're gonna scroll down to camera. Once you're in camera, you have the settings to change your video will probably be at 1080p HD, that's the standard, and you can change it to 4K. You can choose 24, 30, or 60 frames per second. I shoot most video in 30 frames per second. And what 4K is gonna do is increase the resolution that your phone is able to record. So an HD clip might look good on a phone, but as soon as you pull it up on a laptop or a bigger screen size, you're gonna get pixelation. But 4K allows you to just have more pixel and more information in that video. And when you blow it up larger, it is gonna be crisper and look a lot more professional. The next thing is a tripod. A tripod is something you can pick up pretty easily on Amazon for, $20 to $100, depending on how much you wanna spend. It's something that's easy to set up, but having a way to hold your camera steady while you're doing your workout or administering advice is gonna make your life a lot easier. I mean, you could also go ahead and kick it old school. You could stack up a bunch of books or a windowsill and put your phone on there. It also works. I still do it, I'm not gonna lie. But having a tripod is just a little bit more reliable. You could set it up at the right height for the project you wanna do, and they make them pretty small, so you can usually find one that'll just fit in your gym bag. Easy. If you don't want a tripod, they also have these sticky suction phone cases now that you can pretty much stick onto any wall or flat surface, and those are great too. The third thing that you should invest in is a lav mic. So again, these are a very cheap Amazon style purchase, but good audio, that's why I'm using a mic, is gonna improve the quality of your videos, especially on places like TikTok, where if the audio sounds like this and it's just terrible, people are just gonna scroll. People are gonna scroll, they don't wanna hear it. And the fourth piece of gear is lighting. This, in my opinion, is the most important because you could be in the most beautiful gym, working out, sharing some advice, but if it's dark and it's dreary and people can't see you, it's gonna look so much worse. So I advise you to, when you're filming, find a place that's brightly lit. Like as you can see here in the mirror, I'm in a room with windows all around. There's beautiful light. It's not direct though. Like if you're directly in a sunbeam, it's probably gonna mess up your shot. You might be overexposed. So if you can be close to a light source, just out of the direct sun, you'll be great. And everybody can find a space outdoors or near a window without having to buy a bunch of lighting gear. Though if you do wanna buy some lighting gear, you could buy some cheap soft boxes with lights and stands on Amazon. Mind you, these are gonna be a little clunky bringing around, so you can also opt for something like a ring light. The best lighting source is obviously gonna depend where you wanna film your content, whether that's the gym, whether it's in your house, your garage, your basement. Decide how much space you have to work with and then plan around that. If all else fails, aim to film your content during the day when it's beautiful and sunny out. Okay, now that you have your 4 main pieces of gear, your phone, your mic, your tripod, and your lighting, that's all you need. Let's move on to the next part, which is 8 tips for filming your high quality content. So these little tweaks are gonna take your stuff from looking ratchet to a little bit more polished. Okay, let's continue. The first tip is using lighting wisely. So as we kind of talked about previously, I mentioned, being close to natural lights and windows, but one tip is make sure there's not too much light coming from behind you. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so in this situation, you can see all the light is behind me and I am backlit. I don't look good right now. And so try to rotate so that you're in the sun. Final tip on lighting is if you are gonna film outside, try to film at times of day where the sun is low in the sky. So early morning, the sun is gonna be low, which means it's gonna be shining directly at you. This also applies to golden hour, which is the hour or so before the sun sets. So because the sun is going down close to the horizon, it's gonna be hitting you face on. If you go to try to film at like noon, let's say, you're gonna be standing in the sun and the sun is going to be coming at this kind of angle and it's gonna be casting harsh shadows on your face. Tip number 2 for upping your quality game, frame your shot correctly. So as you can see here, I am in kind of like the square and I'm centered myself. I'm from the waist up and my head leaves just a little bit of room up top. Now there's no one size fits all. There's a lot of different framing conventions you can use, but if I'm talking on a podcast and I'm like this, and my camera is over here and I'm kind of like in the bottom corner, this is a terrible viewing experience, right? So set up your camera in a way where you are front and center. So much better. Now when it comes to framing, also make sure when you're demonstrating a workout move, you're framing yourself correctly so that your body fits. For example, if I'm showing you how to do a curl, let's say this little fan, let's say this fan is my weight. This is a good way to show the curl. You know it's not a good way to show the curl? I'm gonna show you. This is not a good way to show the curl. I think we can agree this is not it. I apologize for these boxes, we're moving. This would not be a good way to show the curl because as you can see, I'm cut off of screen. Now this seems obvious. However, if you're trying to do a full body movement, right now you can tell I'm too close to the camera. This isn't working. I would have to, this is my dog Ellie. She's our assistant today. Now I'm better framed to do a full body movement. If I wanted to show you a jumping jack, I could do that. You'd be able to see clearly. So if you're doing an exercise video, try to arrange the camera in a way where majority of your body is gonna be on screen majority of the time. Now with vertical shots, this becomes a little bit harder, right? So just try giving yourself a bit more space between you and the camera so that you have this full kind of framing. Okay, on to the next tip. Okay, the next thing is prioritize audio. So we already talked about using a mic. Sometimes that's completely possible, but like let's say you're filming in the gym and it's busy and crowded and loud. Let's say there's a lot of clanking happening and you really want to talk to camera. If audio is going to be horrid, what you could do is just film the actions that you want to film and then add a voiceover in later. Now this will require a little bit of post-production, however, adding the voice in after the fact means that you can be in a quiet space where you can collect your thoughts and deliver quality content over top of like the B-roll that you've already shot at the gym. B-roll, by the way, just means footage that you're including to add context to your video. A-roll is what we're doing right now. It's the narrative, it's what I'm saying, I'm on screen talking to you, I'm telling you the story. B-roll would be any additional footage like I'm gonna put here of talking about videography, talking about making content. So that's A-roll and B-roll. Anyway, that's just some lingo for you to use when you're producing content. Tip number 4, this is a simple one. Use your rear camera because I think the quality is a little bit better. Obviously it makes it harder to line up your shots when you're using your rear camera. So if it's gonna make it too hard to set up a good shot, I'd say, you know what? It's not the worst thing to use your self-facing camera. The alternative is maybe you wanna have a friend help you a little bit, press record for you, set up a shot. It's not a bad idea. You help them with their content, they help you with yours. Easy. Step number 6, keep your videos short and punchy. Now this obviously depends on what social media platform you're posting on. If you're posting on Instagram, on TikTok, you're gonna wanna keep it like ideally a minute and under because people have short attention spans. If you do wanna go more in depth, then YouTube is the place and you can totally do that. And you can make videos up to 10, 15 minutes, depending on how much information you have to share. So think about platform as you're creating, obviously. Number 7, a small hack that anyone can do, just clean your lens. I've shot so many things on my iPhone only to realize they look terrible because my phone lens is smudged. So just one extra step will help you that much more. Okay, so tip number 8 for producing high quality content is consistency and batching your content. So if you're putting all of this energy into making really beautiful videos, you've set up your lighting, you have your tripod, it's kind of a whole production, right? Getting all those things aligned. So when you do have the setup going, plan your film days so that you're batching your content, which means planning to film multiple things in one day. So do all your planning ahead of time. Be like, I'm going to film 5 videos and then do them all at once so you have consistent, polished videos. And it's just a way to be more productive in terms of time management. A little bonus tip for you, speak authentically. So I always tell people, make videos about the things that you are an expert on. It's gonna come off a lot more natural than just like trying to chat GPT and read a script. If you don't know what you're talking about, instead of trying to pretend you do, just focus on topics where you are in fact an expert and speak as if you're telling a friend about what they should do. So those are our tips for producing better content, simple, easy to implement things that anyone can do. Best of luck to all the trainers out there. If you have more questions or you want to learn more, check out some of our other videos and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.